What's going on, everybody? This is Big Hits Live here with Blake Birchler. Um, I gotta give it to you, man. I appreciate you being on the podcast, the live. Let people know a little bit about who you are, and pretty much just your right now your high school.
Yes, sir. My name, like you said, is Blake Birchler. I'm a class of 2022 quarterback. I went to Freedom High School in Orlando, and next year I'm committed to play football at Weber International University.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Freedom High School. Um, this I believe this is your senior year, correct? Or you
Yes,
already
sir.
finished out?
Yes, sir. I'm already done.
Okay, so just talk. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about your career within Freedom High School. How was that going into freshman, junior, and your senior year?
Okay, so my senior year was my first year at Freedom. So it was a new start, a fresh start that I feel that I needed and helped me out a lot. The coaches at Freedom, I actually played for them before they were at my old high school, so that helped a lot. Just knowing them and knowing what I'm getting into. But but when I got the Freedom, I felt like I was at home, so which helped me to perform at my best. And those coaches, I feel like building a relationship with your coaches is one of the best things you can do in high school. Those are the guys that are gonna yell at you and then congratulate you in the next second.
Oh
So
yeah, most
and
definitely.
then they're the ones that are gonna help you with your future, and who, when the questions are asked, they're gonna be asking the coaches. So you just really got to build a relationship. And I felt like at Freedom, I had a very strong relationship with my coaches, and I was able to perform at that school at my best level.
So before Freedom, what high schools were you attending?
I was at Osceola High School for my freshman and junior year.
So within that, did you start playing with them, or your senior year was actually your best year within that?
Senior year was my first year I started at the varsity level. So as a freshman, through junior year, I learned a lot. I sat behind some really talented quarterbacks, which
Yeah.
I feel which pushed me every day at practice, and which I feel like helped me as a player and as a person. But when it came to my senior year, I just felt like I needed a new opportunity and a new place to show my skill set and what I can do.
Well, I mean, your senior year, just playing with them, I'm looking at Max Prep stats, and I gotta say they're pretty impressive. So
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised because your numbers look better than some freshmen playing starting quarterback in varsity for a
Mm.
lot of teams.
Yeah.
So really impressed. I mean, we're looking at it. We got 1,134 yards to 11 passing. Your completions are amazing compared to your attempts. So
Mhm.
overall good stats, man. I mean, any college coach coming in, and we're definitely going to talk about college now. So what's the college you're committed to?
I'm committed to Weber International University.
Awesome. Okay. Talk a little bit about that. How was your experience talking to the head coach now with Weber and your experience with that?
Yep. So I actually visited Weber twice. My first visit was more of a group visit. There was a couple prospects there, and we really they took us around the school. It's the NAIA level, so it's small, but it's everything you need to excel as a student and as a player. And we went around the facilities, went around the school, and we were with the coaches the whole time, and you're just building a relationship with them, which I thought was the coolest part, because they're talking to you the whole time, and they're telling you stuff that you need to know. And I was with the offensive coordinator, what I was with, who's also the quarterback coach, and you know, I felt a bond with him right away. I just liked him as a person. Obviously, I don't know how he coaches yet, but I like the stuff he showed me and what he does. And then I actually got to sit down with the head coach, and it's going to be his first year there. He was the defensive coordinator, so but I hear nothing but great things about past players talking about him and what he can do and what he's trying to do to bring this program to the top level in that NAIA conference, and I just felt they felt I would be a big part of it, and I think I can really excel at that program, and that's what I'm looking to do.
I mean, I'm excited for you, man. I mean, to be to go to any college, you know what I'm saying? Like out
Exactly,
D1, the Power Five. I mean, whatever. For any college to give you that call and say, "Hey, we want you," that's a huge accomplishment. That's any football high school level player's goal,
exactly.
right? So
Hmm.
you accomplished that outside of that. So, um, truly, outside of Weber, how was for kids watching you? How was the college experience? You know, is it a hard nut life trying to get to colleges and speak to college coaches, get seen, or was it a little bit more different for you?
I felt the whole 22 class. It was definitely a weird thing, you know. You got your big time 5 4 star players. You know, it's gonna be easier for them,
Yeah.
you know. But then you got the really talented guys who aren't up there in the rankings, like myself, and Twitter was a huge part of my recruitment. Just posting. My parents are telling me post, and I'm like, I'm going to, and but it really came out to help me in the end. I at the end of my season, I had 0 offers from any
Wow.
school, and about when I signed my letter, I had 22 offers from NAIA and Division 3 and Division 2 schools. So Twitter really helped me. Just putting yourself out there. You gotta text the coaches. You gotta post, and even you can start building your relationships on Twitter. And recruitment was hard for the 22 class, and it's gonna be hard for the next classes to come with the transfer portal and all that. And so you gotta put yourself out there on social media, good stuff, obviously, and 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 your film is going to speak for itself. So if you can put your film out there and it's a good film, you're going to be successful when it comes to recruiting.
So you talk about the 22 class. I'm pretty sure this was um the COVID class that really, I think
Exactly.
COVID really hurt the class of
Yeah.
2022.
Hmm.
From my understanding, a lot of kids reclassified. Um,
Hmm.
did you wanted to do that, or you just kind of said, you know what, I'm okay with that?
I never even thought of reclassing. I felt I performed as obviously it can always be better, but as good as I wanted to, and I felt like I got some interest from schools, and there was a place for me to go to get my education, and I took it. I don't want to risk another year. Anything can happen in that year, and I don't know how much it's going to get better because the portal might just keep getting more numbers in it. So
So you bring up a good point because I think you were probably the smartest when it came to that, because there was truly, I think at the time there really wasn't any um, answers to what was going to happen, and
yeah.
so I think you took the right decision doing that.
Hmm.
Um, so let's talk a little bit more about Weber University.
Okay.
You came with the school, you love the coaching staff. Um, what, what outside of football, what kind of curriculum it really interests you outside of football?
Okay. So I'm when I get there, I'm gonna study sports management. So which after college I want to get into the office of a college program or an NFL program and it's something like that. Maybe even on the field, which sports management is I'm gonna study, and they Weber actually has, which a lot of lower level schools don't have, but they have a graduate assistant. So that's something I'm definitely interested in, and the fact that they're willing to do that, you know, and which is something I want to do, is what it really stood out to me to see that I'll be able to do that at Weber.
I, that's really good, man. So let's talk outside of university. What's your goal, pretty much, in the sense of what's Blake doing right now outside of college and football?
So right now I'm actually playing baseball. So I'm also playing baseball. So I don't plan on playing baseball in college though. So I focus more on football. But I just obviously gonna finish out this school year, get to college, graduate college, and see wherever my major takes me is what I'm hoping for. Try to build strong connections. If I get the opportunity to play at a pro level, I would love to do it. Not many people get that opportunity. So but I hope to get my major with my degree and see where it takes me from there.
So right now, let's go a little bit before into college. I know I'm moving back and forth, but I definitely want to talk about a topic within your high school. Did you do any camps, any activities to prepare you to what you're doing now?
As in football.
Correct.
Yeah, I feel every player should be going to some camps over the summer, just to get in front of those college coaches. I think I went to it was like 6 or 7 of our high school players. We all took two cars and we went there. And we went to about, I think, 3 camps in 4 days. And you just want to get out there and put yourself in front of those coaches, see how you perform when the pressure's on, and those coaches are sitting right behind you, watching you throw and watching you catch, and you don't want to kill yourself and go to 7 camps in 7 days, and then you start performing bad, and that's only going to hurt you. So you go to a good amount of camps, and which is what I did from probably my sophomore year. After my junior year, I went to those camps, and I actually did get in touch with a couple coaches. After the camps, you get to talk to them, and I got in contact with them, and that's what the camps are about. Just getting in contact with some of those coaches.
Appreciate that. So, guys, if you're listening, definitely take some advice. My guy over here is already, going to college, playing quarterback for college level. So, take some input on that. But let's talk a little bit about a particular photo that I seem to resonate to, because I'm sure you know what I'm about to go at.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
listen, explain to me that gameplay, that what led to that particular photo,
So
the whole bloody face.
yeah, so the bloody face, it was bloody nose, and it was, I think it was a rushing play, a quarterback run, a quarterback power, um, and I was going to the left side, and a linebacker came from my left side, and when he tackled me, his hand went through the
Wow.
face mask, and right into the nose, and so, and I was on the, and it was a good tackle. It hurt a little bit, and I'm sitting on the floor, and I don't really know, I don't know I'm bleeding, and one of my wide receivers comes up. He's like, bro, you're bleeding everywhere, and so I had blood running down my nose into my mouth, and so then I start walking off the field to try to get it all cleaned up, and and so I guess someone on the sideline captured it, because about 5 minutes later, while they're all cleaning me up, someone says, "Bro, I got the picture of you bleeding all over your face, and it's gonna turn out fire."
My whole thing is, who, what photographer is on the sideline? Just, you know what? That's a photo I need to capture.
Yeah, exactly. It turned out to be a good one for sure, though.
And it's funny because if people watching this, I asked Mr. Blake originally, send me some good photos that you like. He sends me the bloody photo. And I'm over here like, bro, you like this? Am I supposed to use this as
Yeah, man.
marketing? So I'm
Man,
just
it's like
looking at it and I'm just like, you
my
know
body
what?
on the line.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna post it. I'm gonna talk about it. And we're gonna make it a segment because I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, who says this is a good photo? It's like,
Yeah. Yep.
oh man, oh my god. So let's talk. So outside of that, my man, um, we talked about high school football. We talked about college. We talked about um outside of that, man. Um, truly, I gotta say, right now in time, if you were talking to your younger self, right, and we're gonna get a little
Hmm.
personal. If you're talking to
Yep.
your younger self, what is one thing you could have said to yourself to really build upon what you were doing now?
Um, just to, I felt like I was, when I was younger, everyone told me, to enjoy it, enjoy it, and always work hard. And if I was telling these younger guys, I would say, outwork everybody around you. There's a lot of people that's gonna have talent and they're gonna be good with just their talent. But when you work and you're in the weight room and you're the first one in the weight room and then you're the first one to practice and the coaches see that, they see it, and you're the last one to leave. When I was at Osceola and when I was at Freedom, uh, I made my wide receivers, especially when I was a starting quarterback, I made my wide receivers come out before practice. We got to catch at least 50 passes standing right in front of you, before practice. And then after practice, the whole offense, we had to run sprints. We weren't, just putting in extra work.
Yeah,
It's gonna come to help you in the end. And there's no way it can hurt you. And so the younger guys that are just starting high school and stuff like that, talent is good, but hard work, it doesn't get beat a lot.
most definitely. And so I mean, I want to read your shirt. What does your shirt say? I mean, I
It's a
feel like it's what
beat the creek.
Big
At Freedom
Creek.
High School, our rival was Cypress Creek, and so we had shirts made. Beat the creek.
That's okay. So outside of everything, man. Um, I mean, how's life, Mister Blake? How's life going for you outside of everything going on?
It's good. You got to make the most of it. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and you gotta sit back and watch and do what you can control. And you see all this stuff happening, but you don't have to be a part of that, the bad stuff. Be a part of the good stuff. Make a change between your community. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm playing baseball, so I'm focused on that right now. I still get my football workouts in. So, and I'm just doing what a high school kid does. Going to practice, going to school, and just having fun. And that's all you can do.
Well, I mean, you seem to have a good life because when I was in high school, I had to work.
I
I
got
had to
I
work
got my
nine to
part.
five.
I got my part time job on the weekends, but
Listen, I had to make that decision. I was like, am I going
yeah,
full time? Am I going part time? Am I going to college? Am I not? Am I doing
yeah,
So I gotta say, my man, everything. I love the conversation. I love everything where everything is going. Um, I had a question in my head. I definitely wanted to ask you, man, and it
okay,
just it slipped out of my mind. But I'll get it back eventually down the road. But
all right,
um, I gotta so I have to ask, man, and this is me. Um, you know, w- what type of message do you want to for college coaches, college scouts, anybody that's watching you? Yes, you're in Webber University. That I get where you're going. You're committed,
hmm,
but for see where I'm trying to see where I'm going now. I'm trying to see about getting my question back because it was a good question. And
okay,
it just slipped out of my mind, man. Oh dang, it just slipped out of my head. Actually, there you go. We're gonna cut this off. We'll go back to what I wanted to say.
okay,
But how I gotta ask you because I'm sure you were the player within 24K of last year would build their name when you beat
hmm,
Cam Newton's team, right? I'm
okay,
assuming that was you were the quarterback.
yes sir,
So let's talk. Let's talk
yes sir,
about 7-on-7 because this is a huge accomplishment. You were that
yes,
quarterback that built the name 24K to get them get to where they're at now, right? You were part of that squad.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's talk about that squad. And let's talk about 24K because that's you're essentially the legendary team that started 24K.
Exactly.
Right? I think we can all agree on that, right?
Uh-huh.
So,
Exactly.
and this was during Pylon, I believe Pylon in Texas, right? Playing,
Pylon
or you play
Atlanta.
at Pylon in Atlanta. That's even worse.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about that, my man. How was your experience with 24K being their first ever 7-on-7 squad starting up and beating Cam Newton's team?
Yeah.
Like that right there was like everyone's conversation last year. I'm not even kidding you. That was
Exactly.
everyone's conversation. Like 24K,
Uh-huh.
what? And we're not talking about C1N guys. Like there's like 15 of them all over the United States. We're
Hmm.
talking about the actual Cam Newton. Cam Newton was there type of
Yep.
team, right? And you can agree. So
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
huge. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna stop rambling, but I wanted to give a little more in depth of what everybody I'm talking about. How was that to you, man? How was that?
So 24K, that was probably one of playing with them was one of the most fun I've had in a while. Just just being on that team, I was surrounded by so many players. Coastal Carolina, someone at there, Syracuse, Georgia, and I was surrounded with those guys. And I think it was me and one other player who didn't have any offers at the time, and they used to always tell me, they're gonna come, and I like, to the younger people, them just go out and play. Those Cam Newton had some of the best players in the country, and when you go out there and you just play, that stuff doesn't matter, and anything can happen. And you know of course, going against Cam Newton was obviously, that's just fun. You got to have fun. You're playing Cam Newton. You look to the sidelines, Cam Newton. You look to the huddle, and Cam Newton's calling the plays. So so just going out there and getting a chance to play them, and all the media they bring, and getting to get a chance to be in that media, and get exposure for yourself was just a blessing for me. And then beating them and getting even more exposure, and it was just everything I could ask for in my junior summer year. And I feel like that helped me going into my senior year. And 7-on-7 is, I don't know if you can get offers, but you can definitely get in contact and get looks from that 7-on-7. And and going against Cam Newton, it was once in a lifetime experience that we took advantage of.
So I definitely appreciate that, but I want to know. I want to know what was in your head after beating that team. How was that? In the sense of like, what was your emotions going through? Like you just beat the pretty much, I think, like every single player on that team. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, 1 second.
Okay, I got it.
We're good.
Yep, good.
All right. So I gotta ask you though, how your emotions though beating pretty much like these, Cam Newton doesn't come in with some average players. I think you
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? I think these are all Power Five D1 athletes. So
Yeah.
like you're playing you're playing an all star defensive team. But
Hmm.
you're coming in as a quarterback with no offers, barely being known, and you're a quarterback playing for a not big name team. How was that?
Hmm.
Like your emotions going that game? Like how like
Yeah.
if you can
So,
still remember, how was your emotions going
yeah.
into that?
So, preparing for a high school game, you watch film, and you see, okay, here's their best player, and so we're gonna try to stay away from him. We're gonna take advantage of the other side. But then you go against Cam Newton's team, and it's like, okay, he's good, he's a 4-star, and he's good, he's a 5-star, okay, and then he's good, and so there's no weak link. And so when you go out there, and there's nowhere to attack, you just trust yourself. trust your receivers, trust where they're gonna be and where the ball's supposed to be. And going into the game, I'm never somebody that really gets nervous, but I feel there's gonna be pressure, and you just gotta perform, be able to perform under the pressure. And going into that game, I couldn't. You're playing Cam Newton, I couldn't wait to do it, and just being able to do it and beat him was awesome.
I think if I remember correctly, I remember that night. I vividly. It was I was hearing about it, and you guys went live in your hotel room. That night, I remember that. This is a year ago. It's crazy. I
Yep,
remember that. This is You
yep.
guys went live that night, and I remember writing on in the comment section. I was like, "Bro, did you not? Did you just beat Cam Newton's team?" And then and it's crazy because I mean, again, that was again. I'm never gonna forget it. I'm sure a lot of people not gonna forget it. But I mean, you're a part of the legendary 24 Kevin squad that I'm sure everybody's never gonna forget. I know I'm not. But I gotta say, man. So we're not holding you up too long, my guy. I want to end it off with you. What message, what do you want to give out there to people, or what do you want to say truly within your heart to let people know what you want to say, and how can they reach you with social media after you say your message?
Okay, so just to the athletes, um, just go work. There's uh, a lot of, like I said earlier, that team was full of recruits that everyone knew around the world, and I was a quarterback on an opposing team that had zero offers. Nobody really knew, and I just went out there and performed, and I trusted my the way I worked, and my coaches and what they've helped me become. And you got to trust yourself and trust who surrounds you, and just go out there and perform. That's why you want to work so hard, because when the light shines, then that's when it's your advantage to stand out. And so that's just my message. My Instagram is Blake Birch 03. I'm always on there. So if anything, you can hit me up on there. But that's pretty much it.
Again, well, I appreciate you, my guy, for real, Blake, and
Yes,
thank you
sir.
for being on a podcast. I'm
For sure.
excited because, like I said, I'm gonna. This is a new software. The last thing was horrible, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give it about like
Okay.
30 minutes. So, um,
Sounds good.
other than that, we'll get it done. And again, man, I appreciate you. And
No, you.
so, other than that, man, I gotta say again, appreciate you, my guy, and thank you everybody again for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and end it.